Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Booklicious podcast. I'm your host, and today we're diving into the razor-sharp pages of Jeneva Rose's brand new thriller, The Perfect Divorce. Now, if you're a fan of The Perfect Marriage, you remember that wild ride, right? Then buckle up, because this sequel doesn't just revisit familiar characters, it flips everything upside down. So here's what you need to know. It's been 11 years since the explosive events of The Perfect Marriage. Sarah Morgan, our sharp, icy, and complicated heroine, is back. She's moved on. She's remarried a high-powered attorney named Bob Miller. They have a daughter. She runs a foundation for reformed felons. Life looks, well, perfect. Until it isn't. Bob cheats. Sarah files for divorce. And then, plot twist, the woman Bob's been cheating with disappears. Things spiral fast. Bob is now under a cloud of suspicion. But wait, there's more. New DNA evidence from the case of Sarah's first husband, Adam Morgan, suddenly resurfaces. Remember, he was executed for the murder of his mistress. Now law enforcement starts sniffing around again. Did they get it wrong? Or is Sarah even more dangerous than we thought? Let's talk characters, because The Perfect Divorce is a web of manipulation and moral ambiguity. First, Sarah Morgan. She's magnetic and terrifying. You can't decide whether to root for her or run from her. She's cold, calculated, and fiercely self-preserving. And yet, you kind of love her for it. Then there's Bob, her current husband. He goes from smug lawyer to desperate man unraveling under pressure. And trust me, watching him squirm is oddly satisfying. You've also got Sheriff Marcus Hudson and Deputy Pam Olson, returning from the first book. They're the moral anchors of this story, chasing truth in a world built on lies. And don't overlook Alejandro Perez, a reformed felon whose role in the plot will have your jaw on the floor. At its core, this book is about trust and how easily it shatters. Sarah trusted Adam. That ended in death and prison. Now Bob betrays her, and we see Sarah at her most ruthless. But is she just protecting herself, or is she orchestrating everything? We're also dealing with themes of justice versus revenge. Can Sarah manipulate the legal system again? Will old secrets stay buried? And who, if anyone, deserves a clean slate? Rose plays with these questions brilliantly. You're constantly forced to reevaluate your loyalties and assumptions. Let's talk rhythm. This book moves fast. We're talking short chapters, cliffhanger endings, and multiple POVs from Sarah, Bob, and Sheriff Hudson. Each perspective brings new clues, new lies, and new tension. Listeners, if you love binge-worthy reads that don't let up, this one's for you. I finished it in a single sitting. Yes, really. It hooks you page one and doesn't let go. And for those wondering if you need to read The Perfect Marriage first, not necessarily. Rose does a solid job weaving in the past without bogging you down. But, fair warning, you want to read it anyway after this one. All right, let's break down what hits the mark. Unpredictable twist. Just when you think you've got it figured out, bam, the story flips. Morally gray protagonist. Sarah Morgan is one of the most compelling, layered female characters in thriller fiction today. Legal and psychological tension. Rose blends courtroom drama with mind games, and the result is addictive. Now, no book is perfect, pun intended. Some of the twists stretch believability. One or two moments made me go, okay, that's a bit much. And a few side characters could have used more depth. They serve the plot, but you won't remember their names after. Still, those are small bumps in an otherwise thrilling ride. In The Perfect Divorce, Jeneva Rose delivers a bold, wickedly smart thriller that's part revenge story, part courtroom chess match. Sarah Morgan remains the star. Fascinating, manipulative, and possibly murderous. If you like thrillers with morally complex leads, if you love questioning who the real villain is, and if you're into stories that never slow down, this one's a must-read. Plot and pacing, 4.5 out of 5. Characters, 4. Suspense and twist, 5 out of 5. Credibility, 3. Overall, a strong 4.5 stars. Totally worth your time. If you liked Gone Girl, The Wife Between Us, or The Girl on the Train, you're going to love The Perfect Divorce. It's sharp, suspenseful, and just dark enough to keep you thinking about it long after that final chapter. All right, that's it for today's episode of the Booklicious Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this with your thriller-loving friends. Until next time, keep reading, keep questioning, and stay booklicious.